Hey kids, today we're going to extend our knowledge of the 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90 right triangles, and we are going to do a few extra challenging problems with them. So our goal today is to use those properties to solve problems. Here is a little bit of a review. So if you want to do those review problems and hit pause and then join back with me here in a minute, please do that. All right, so talking about these problems right here, if I look at identical terms, I can combine 3 square root of 5 with 1 square root of 5 to get 4 square roots of 5. And I'm going to subtract 7 square root of 10. I cannot combine these two terms because square root of 5 and square root of 10 are totally different. All right, in example B, I look at what I can combine, and I can combine like terms. So I have 13 square root of 3's and 7 square root of 3's, and I'm subtracting them, which will leave me with 6 square root of 3's. And then I will add the square root of 12. The square root of 12 is really 4 times 3. So now I have 6 square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 3, which is 8 square root of 3. And on to example C, we have 4 square roots of 11's, we have 9 square roots of 11, and if I subtract 4 minus 9, I get negative 5 square root of 11, and subtract 7. Those cannot be combined because there is no square root of 11 attached to the 7. All right, so for very special right triangles, we're going to use our properties of right triangles that we have talked about the last few days to solve some problems. So looking at this problem right here, I look right here, it tells me I have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which tells me I'm either going to multiply or divide by the square root of 2, depending on whether I'm getting larger or smaller for each side. So I'm just going to take the side I know, and I'm going to circle it. So in this particular problem, I know that I have 4 square root of 6, and it's my hypotenuse, which is the longest side of that 45, 45, 90 triangle. To get the shorter side, I'm going to divide by radical 2. So if I come out here and I say, all right, I got 4 square root of 6, and I'm going to divide by square root of 2, that is going to equal 4 square root of 3. So I know that this side here, this leg is 4 square root of 3. I also know that this leg is 4 square root of 3. Ultimately, my goal in these problems is to solve for x and y. So since I know the length of my two legs, I can come out here to the side and I can set 2x equal to 4 square root of 3, and I can set y plus 2 also equal to 4 square root of 3. And now I really have algebraic equations. So if I look at my first one for x, this is 2 times x. So to undo the multiplication, I'm going to divide. I'm going to take outside kids and combine them with outside kids. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So here I have 2 square root of 3 for x. Over here I'm going to subtract 2. Since 4 square root of 3 and 2 are different, I cannot combine them, so I end up with 4 square root of 3 minus 2. And that is how we will find x and y. All right, let's look at example 2. All right, I want you to take a minute and I want you to determine how to find the length of the short leg and the length of the long leg. So you guys hit pause, find the short leg and find the long leg. And I mean the hypotenuse because we already know the long leg. All right, so here's my long leg. If I want to go backwards, remember everything revolves around the short leg. I'm going to divide by the square root of 3. So if I take 3 square root of 15 and I divide by square root of 3, I can't do anything with the 3, but square root of 15 and square root of 3 will reduce to square root of 5. So that tells me that my short leg here is 3 square root of 5. And then to go from that short leg to my hypotenuse, I double that side. So 3 square root of 5 times 2 is going to give me 6 square root of 5. This is the information I need to set up my equations. So I know that 3 square root of 5 is going to equal y minus 2. And from my hypotenuse, I also know that 4x is going to equal 6 square root of 5. So now we need to solve for x and for y. Since I wrote y first, I'll go ahead and do that first. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And again, if you have 2 plus 3 square roots of 5, you cannot combine those because The 3 has the square root of 5 attached to it, and the 2 does not. And the second one, it's 4 times x. So to undo division, or to undo multiplication, we would do the inverse operation, which is division. I can reduce the 6 and the 4 because both of those are outside the square root, and I'm left with 3 square root of 5. At this point, I want you to hit pause, and I want you to work example 3 and example 4 on your own, and then rejoin me, and I will do a quick recap, and you can verify your answers and move on to the homework. All right, welcome back. So example 3 is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. And since you already have the work done, I'm going to proceed through this quicker than normal. And I know my normal is pretty fast. So I'm going to look at this triangle. It's 45, 45, 90. So I know my legs are the same. If I'm going from my leg to my hypotenuse, I'm going to multiply by the square root of 2. So if I take 8 square root of 10 and I multiply by square root of 2, I know that 10 is divisible by 2, so I'm going to take the square root of 10, which is 5 times 2, and I'm going to bring that 2 down. Because I have a pair of 2's, I can bring one of these out, so I end up with 16 square root of 5 for my hypotenuse. So now I need to do some algebra to find my final answers. So for my legs, I know x minus 2 equals 8 square root of 10. I also know my hypotenuse 4y equals 16 square root of 5. To find x, I can swing that 2 over to the other side. So you get x equals 2 plus 8 square root of 10. And for y, I'm going to divide each side by 4, and y equals 4 square root of 5. Okay, and to the last problem. Hopefully you have done this one correctly. So to go from the long leg to the short leg, I'm dividing by 3, which makes this side 6. And to go from the short leg to the hypotenuse, I'm doubling that length, which makes this side 12. It's probably the easiest of all the problems. So my short leg is 3y, and the length of my short leg is 6. My hypotenuse is 12, and that is equal to x plus 4. Solving for x and y, if I divide each side by 3, I get y equals 2. And if I move the 4 over to the other side by subtraction, the additive inverse, I get x equals 8. All right, hopefully that is enough to get you through this assignment. So today, if you will work on assignment 9.5, very special right triangles, that is what we will be doing. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.